Hi, welcome to this talk. I will do a talk about some thoughts, some ideas, some considerations, some um, concerns about psychiatry and myself. Um, One thing that we see prominent with the issue of psychiatry is that you have today more and more supposed to cooperate in meetings in institutions together with healthcare workers and doctors and nurses and so on. So um, you're expected to work together as equals with a doctor and so on. But there is a big but there, and that but is money. Because obviously when you have a doctor who makes um, 5 or 6 times, 5 or 6 or 7 times more than me, for instance, how am I supposed to work as equals to that person? There is a very unbalance there, and we see more and more that you know people with low income families, low income people with low income that have to stress more about their money. People who have to stress more about their money are more easily uh, involved in psychiatry and need psychiatric help from addictions, from just mind problems and possessions, obsessions, and illness. So I would like to emphasize that it's also a big, the biggest rock we have here is the mountain of inequality or money sharing in our society, where you know survivors and former addicts and so on are invited to participate in very many arenas of the psychiatry environment, but still we are just given, what shall I say, nothing in thanks for that of income. And basically we need to rethink our whole money system, obviously. And that is have to start somewhere, and it might as well start with psychiatry. If doctors really had that empathy and, what shall I say, care, if they really honestly had a great bunch of empathy and care, which one would maybe relate to the doctor occupations would be needed, if they really had that integrated with themselves for real, I think that they would understand and clearly see that uh, we are of equal worth, all of us. Welcome to Earth, we are of equal worth. Now, if I'm supposed to cooperate and work together with people who make 6 or 7 times more than my income, people who are millionaires of income, and me with a petty income, there is a very big unbalance there. And that unbalance, that gap is causing a lot of illness and suffering we see in the world. So um, this is a call for considering that we need new systems for money, basically. And Also, I would like to say that I follow news quite closely, and I've been looking at a lot of news coming from youth, people in gymnasium and universities, and there are numbers of alcohol consume and drug abuse or drug consume, alcohol and drug consume, and mental illness, stress, anxiety, personal problems. It is just rocketing. I mean, I I am a man who have found out, I've discovered with looking at myself that we all are mentally ill because we are all equally carrying a mind consciousness system. And that system has made us to what we are today, basically, with our systems being whatever system you point at. It's very chaotic. I must concur. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that we need new systems of psychiatry. And one of the key elements that I find is to equalize the balance between interest of psychiatry, where you have the one interest group, which is the doctors, the psychiatry, the psychopharma, the government, which is like the power, the old power, and the money, and the system, and the structure. And then you have the survivors, the former drug addicts, the advocates, the peer, the family around the patient it's himself, and so on. And these two polars have been very opposing and fighting lots in media, in opinions, in politics, and beyond. And what I'm trying to say is that I would like to see us make peace of these two fronts, because the biggest topic is obviously money. To me, it's the one most where I see there is most disturbance and friction and pain and suffering and abuse and so on. Um, but there's also the drug issue, psychopharma, and we need psychopharma. We need psychopharma, but we also need alternative medication. We need Chinese medication. We need Ayurveda, Indian practice of medicine. We need acupuncture. We need yoga. We need kinesiology. We need self-forgiveness. We need to learn to work on self-communication. We need painting. We need singing. We need so many other types of medication, because what we see is that hospitals and doctors within those hospitals who are just having a lot of money from giving patients only psychopharma, you know, and what we see is that there have been a focus on giving only medications, chemicals. But, I'm one voice to say that I would also need to know, to learn how to drain my body from the extra chemicals. I would need to learn to know how to drain my body from the extra chemicals from my medication. And this type of education, it's out there, it's scarce, it's marginalized, it's pissed at, but it's there. And we need to make that alternative medication alternative. This is the oldest medication, but it's the alternative medication. We need to include the alternative medication to the whole package of medication. We need both the psychopharma. I need my psychopharma, thank you very much. But we also need herbs and Chinese medication. We need Ayurveda. We need herbs and acupuncture and self-forgiveness and self-communication, writing, singing, expressing, making radio, making vlogs. We need all of those type of therapy together. And we need good mentors to show us how we can build a structured, commonsensical, and a good life for ourselves with using all of these different types of therapy. Together with psychopharma, together with dandelion, Epsom salt, Ayurveda, Indian medication, acupuncture, kinesiology, self-forgiveness, self-honesty, self-communication. We need it all. And I was not taught about Chinese medication or acupuncture in school. I should have been taught about Chinese medication and self-forgiveness and acupuncture in school, in primary school, obviously. You know, that point is clear. You know what I mean? As much as I need to learn to fix my car, I need to know how to fix myself with self-communication, with self-forgiveness, with acupuncture, with foot massage. You know? So obviously there are some challenges for the very, 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 very outdated school system that we have. There are some challenges for that. And we see that, people, young people in gymnasium and universities and so on, the numbers are staggering. They are having lots of issues with drug usage and alcohol use and mental health issues. We need to start changing our game, people. And the game that I call psychiatry, I would like to, open some doors and um, make it more sane, basically, to include more, to embrace more, to make it more sane and equal, and also look at the money issue, obviously, because welcome to Earth, we are of equal worth.